Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tangent Podcast. It's your boy, Jack.
And your boy, Austin.
Do you want to talk about the news to start us off this episode? Because it's going to lead us into our main topic.
Yeah, I can talk about the news here. Well, first of all, are we doing a drink?
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, what are we drinking tonight?
We are drinking another solid brand, Rainstorm Kiwi Blend. So this is Rain's new product line that I don't know how it's different than their other one, other than that the can is smaller because all the other Rains were zero sugar.
The energy comes from a clean, it's like plant-based, so apparently it's better for you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Okay. I don't understand that, but I think that's the difference.
Okay.
It's healthier.
All right. Well, this is Kiwi Blend.
What's the blend?
I don't think I've ever had a...
It looks like it's got apple on it. There's a picture of an apple on it.
Apple and kiwi. There aren't many other than strawberry kiwi. There's not many kiwi drinks out there.
It smells like sour apple, and I like it.
Ooh, it does smell nice.
Ooh, that is different than I was expecting.
Ooh. It's really like light tasting.
It's like the aftertaste tastes like a Jolly Rancher.
That's pretty good.
I agree.
I like that. I'm going to give it like an 8 out of 10.
Is it 8 good? Let me taste it.
I think that's really good. I think it's like some energy drinks are...
I don't like the initial taste, but it gets better as it lingers in the old tongue. So I'll give it 7.5.
I think some energy drinks are really like aggressive with flavor, whereas this is a little lighter on flavor for me.
That's fair. Yeah, I think we kind of said the same thing about the orange one we tried. It's not like kick you in the teeth kind of flavor, usually.
Yeah, that one was good too. Rain is just solid all around. I don't think, other than the jalapeno strawberry, I haven't had a Rain that I haven't liked.
Yeah, that's true. Alrighty. So, today's... I'm going to call it space news. It's not quite space news, but... do you have it pulled up?
I do. So
why don't you tell us just a little bit about it?
Well, the title here. So let me share this with you. Former intelligence officer claims that the U.S. has been recovering non-human technology for decades. So basically, a former U.S. intelligence officer doesn't state which intelligence agency he or she was with, but came forward saying that we have possession of a number of non-human quote-unquote vehicles because of a covert program that was set up to recover materials from UFO crash sites. And so Roswell, like obviously the biggest one is Roswell in Area 51, back in, what was that, the 50s or the 60s that happened. And so there's been speculation for a long time, but this guy is saying, yeah, we definitely have it. He says it includes vehicles that are intact and some that are partially intact. But then I don't know what this word means. He said they're not talking about prosaic origins or identities. So before I talk out of my butt here, prosaic means having, commonplace. So he's basically saying it's not something that you'd ever think of seeing. Like it's not a lot of... like UFOs, you could be like, oh, a human could come up with that design. So I think what he's saying is like, this is very non-human in not only maybe like the materials that it's made out of, but the design is like nothing that we would ever think of. It's very, very far from like human design nature and tendencies. So
yes,
that's interesting.
This was, his name is David Charles Grush. I want to say Grush, who was former intelligence community inspector.
Does it say which? It says the Air Force. Is that what it was?
I think so. I can't find it anymore.
The AARO working with the Office of the General Counsel and the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. Is that it?
It says Grush served as the National Reconnaissance Officer representative to the United States Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force from 2019 to 2021. He then worked for the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency up until July 2022, where he co-led UAP analysis and once again served as the representative to the task force, which has been since reorganized and rebranded as the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. So he's been doing a lot of this stuff for years.
Say high levels, like very high level.
Yeah, those are some pretty intense sounding titles. So I guess he retired. I'm not sure. I don't really care about that part. But he did say he noted that the U.S. had retrieved quite a number of mysterious vehicles and suggested that the remains of pilots have also been recovered from crash sites. He said
the Roswell thing too. They found those bodies. So
he said, quote, "Well, naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true. We are definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we are not alone." Like, he's doing this out in the open. He's gonna die of suicide next week. But this is like kind of big news, because this is not only the first but the second time that a government official has deemed UFOs real. When did that happen with the Pentagon?
I believe it was 2021.
Let's see. I can't find it because it's only bringing up the thing I'm talking about right now from like a day or two ago.
So
April
June
of 2020.
2nd. Yeah. 2020.
I think.
Let's see. It was either 2020 or 2021 when they released all that footage.
Yeah, this one also says April of 2020. Pentagon officially releases
GoFast and the TikTok. Yeah.
So anyway, this is the second time. That's kind of crazy that this is happening for a second time, that an official is claiming. How is this not bigger in the news? Like, I should be talking about this with my coworkers and stuff. Like, did you guys hear that aliens are freaking real? Anyway.
Well, did this have anything to do with around this same time? Do you know who Jeremy Corbell is?
I do not.
He's like he's a major UFO investigator. He's been on Rogan's podcast, and we were trying to get him on our podcast, but he's a busy guy. He said he'll get us we've got him a couple months out. So
good.
No, he's like pretty big name in the ufology world, and he's the guy that did, when Bob Lazar came on Joe Rogan, he's the one that did the Bob Lazar documentary and was on that podcast with them.
Okay.
So he's very involved in all this stuff. But he came out with like a new UFO sighting. I just freaking unclicked. I exited out of the link. Let me pull it up here. Okay. Mystery Triangle UFO. So I'll send you the link to this. This, though, is very intriguing to me because the picture of this UFO that's in this video, so basically Jeremy Corbell released it. This video is a newscast of him like doing an interview and a newscaster talking about it, and they show like a video of the UFO.
Okay.
I just sent you the link, so if you want to pull up the video. But this looks almost pretty similar to the arrangement of lights that I saw on the UFO that I saw in the sky. And that was the first thing that piqued my interest, is like, oh my goodness, those lights are set up almost the same as the thing I saw. And it was above a Marine base. So of course it could be something military, but a ton of people saw this thing and reported
this is 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is recent. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, pretty recent. Yeah.
Dang, that's
but
crazy.
A bunch of people saw that, and so there's more. There's just a lot of that in the news right now. Ever since in 2020 when the government came out, I feel like people are more open to be like, yeah, I saw something weird.
Whereas it's like, I'm not crazy. Stigma, the government agrees with me a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they ever said aliens are real. They just say they've found things that we can't
We don't know what they are.
Yeah, we have no idea what they are.
They call them unidentified aerial phenomena now.
Yeah,
so
they couldn't do the
UAPs.
same one. UAP.
UFOs is so much cooler though.
It really is. But I can call UAPs.
UAPs, yeah. You had mentioned like how is everybody not talking? You said something like how is everyone not talking about this?
Yeah,
How is
yeah.
it not all over the news? My only like what's the word? My only tiff or beef with people coming forward and saying that there's UFOs is humans are notoriously bad at keeping secrets.
Yeah.
And I feel like if there was anyone else in the government that knew about UFOs, like there would be more people coming forward. That's my only beef, but it seems like this guy was pretty credible. Like I knew that if I was in the government, dude, and I found out UFOs were real, I would be shouting it from the rooftops on day one. Like,
Oh yeah,
I'd be telling everybody.
I agree.
No, sorry, that's what I was gonna say.
No,
so I'm
that's-
surprised that it's not more out there if it really is true.
Yeah.
but
I just like when I read that article about the Pentagon releasing those videos and whatnot, I was just like, holy crap, this is going to change everything. Like, and nothing
Yeah.
changed.
right.
But-
Well, we'll find out someday. I hope.
I really hope, man. That would be crazy cool. Anyway,
Go on with what you're getting to.
so we're talking about crop circles today and aliens and communication with aliens. It's kind of all the same thing a little bit. So crop circles, as you know, are circles in crops. And I always thought they were cut like with a saw or, something like that. Turns out they're just laid flat. I did not know that, but from the air you can't really tell. But
The plant, like the stalks are just like laid down.
yeah,
so that
it's just like you
stand
laid
out.
on
Okay.
it and it's like now laying sideways kind of thing.
Huh. That's crazy because you see pictures of them and they're so well defined.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Like the other day, I had my cooler sitting on the grass because my kids are like playing with it the other day. They had water in it. And
Uh-huh.
even after it sitting there for like 8 hours one day, it was still like not a perfect square on the grass. You
Yeah.
know, it was like still not that well defined. So that's crazy that they can get that kind of definition out of it. Well, go on, because if it's aliens, they could be doing something crazy.
They could be, and probably are, Anyway, so I want to start off with something we called the Arecibo message. Have you ever heard about the Arecibo message?
I have not.
Okay, so the Arecibo message was an interstellar radio message that we basically just beamed into the cosmos for anybody to find, if anybody could find it. So what it
When was this done?
Oh, sorry, that's helpful. This is 1974.
Okay.
And this
so
was-
we beamed the message out.
Correct. So in Puerto Rico, it was the Arecibo telescope, at the time the world's largest radio telescope. So as basically like it was a ceremony after the remodeling of it, kind of like the cutting of the ribbon. They decided to take a very small message, approximately, I lost it. There it is, 210 bytes. So I don't know if you guys know what, computer storage is like, but gigabytes are kind of big. Megabytes are pretty small. Kilobytes are tiny. Bytes are just downright. There's nothing, basically. A 0 or a 1 is what a byte is. So this is 210 bytes, and it consisted of 1,679 binary digits. And so this is written in binary to I can't remember what the word was. Should have wrote that down. But it was, you could translate the binary into a picture, basically. If you drew out the binary, it forms a picture. And if you look at it, and I highly recommend you do at this point. Do you have it pulled up, Austin?
I do.
The Arecibo message is what's called ARECIBO.
Is it this weird, like Atari looking
Yeah,
thing?
it looks like a really old video game or like pixel art kind of thing. Okay, so if you pull that up, I'm going to explain what it is. So the first line is a key. It is binary from 1 to 10. And then the second line, which is purple, is the atomic number of elements which make up our DNA, and the green ones as well. And so but the purple is carbon, which is the most dominant in our DNA. So they're saying we're carbon-based life forms. Here's our DNA, is what the purple and green is. The next down is what is it? The estimated number of DNA nucleotides in a human genome. Basically, it's a structure of our DNA, double helix. It's telling them how our DNA is. And then the next one down is like a ruler, basically. So showing the average height of a man and average like physical features. You can see it's got a body, it's got legs that are about half this width of the body. We have feet, we have arms, kind of thing. Just giving a very crude drawing of a human. And then the next one down is our solar system. So it's a sun and then each of the planets and their sizes. That's how big each one is how many dots they are. And the one that is lifted up is ours. We're the third from the sun. That's the one we inhabit. And the next one down, which is purple, is a picture of the Arecibo telescope, the thing that transmitted this data.
Wow.
So that's what they beamed into space. They put it at... they aimed the message at the location of M13, which is 25,000 light years from Earth. It is relatively large and close collection of stars that was available in the sky at the time and place of the ceremony. So basically, it was just like, there's a cluster that it'll be able to make it to that's kind of nearby. Let's shoot it off, and maybe in 50,000 years, we'll get a reply. It was just ceremonial, right? So... this was in 1974. In 2001, a crop circle was made in Chilbolton, in Hampshire, New York, at the Chilbolton Radio Telescope. A crop circle was put in. So I want you to now Google, or it's actually... yeah, if you can find it, it's called the Arecibo Answer or the Arecibo Reply.
Let's see. Does it look like a rectangle with an alien and then a circle?
Yeah, so the Arecibo Reply, here, I'm going to send you a picture of it, and I recommend you guys also look up a picture of this. So
that's cool.
I just sent it to you in Discord. This is a crop circle that was put down. Now, from the ground, everyone thought it was just gibberish. Like, what the heck is going on? It's just random dots and crap. But if you look at it from the sky, it looks almost identical to the Arecibo message. So, naturally, people, plugged that crap in and did the same thing. And if you go to look at it, it looks very similar. The top is the same thing, the key, 1 through 10. The second thing down is a very similar strand of DNA, but the purple at the top, the dominant one, is silicone. The next one down, the DNA, it's mostly similar, but it actually has a third strand. So
the DNA is like on the Arecibo message, it's like the blue lines that look like like a typical DNA strand. Okay.
Yeah, so theirs has 3 strands of DNA is what it says. The next one down is a picture of them, which shows a smaller human than us, but a larger head. The next one down shows a solar system, which has 3 things lifted, meaning they might inhabit 3 planets, one of which is a little different. People think that maybe it was maybe like a moon or a artificial planet, like you built a space, planet. I don't know, somewhere they can go to. And the next thing down is, well, if we go to F anything from the first one, it's the machine that transmitted this message. And it looks kind of like an eyeball with a bunch of stuff coming out of it. But what's crazy is that 1 year earlier, let's see if I can find it. Arecibo answer. Oh, okay. So it's called, I don't know. People are also calling it the Arecibo answer, but I can't find it exactly. But I'm going to send you a picture of it. This is a crop circle that showed up a year before this. Now, does that look familiar to you?
It looks like Pokeballs.
It looks like what's in the Arecibo answer at the bottom.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
just flipped the other way. Okay.
Yeah, if you turn it sideways. So people think that, wow, these guys were trying to communicate the machine. Like maybe they were trying to send us like blueprints or something like that before this even happened. Now, what's crazy is that, we weren't expecting an answer from this for, 50,000 years because it's 25,000 light years away. Now, if this is true, that would mean somebody intercepted it early, meaning they're much closer. Because it was 27 years, I believe, before we got the Arecibo answer.
How did they say how far the signal could have traveled in that time?
I did not come across that ever, but I'm sure very far.
Well, the thing is, it had to travel, but then they also had to travel here.
Oh, that's right.
So they would have to be pretty close, I feel like.
About 15 years out, I guess.
Wow.
So that's kind of crazy.
So was this second crop circle not the answer, but the actual like machine looking thing?
Right.
Was that in the same place as the answer one?
I don't believe so. Let me verify really quick.
It looks kind of like the same. There's like those.
Actually, yes. The Arecibo telescope is replaced by the replica of a crop circle that was appeared in the same field 1 year earlier. So yes, that is the same field.
You can tell the lines in the field are like, there's like those three kind of rectangular lines that go through. You know
oh
what I'm
yeah,
talking about?
yeah. Like
they're the same in both.
I think it's probably where the farmer drives his tractor. Looks like a wheel.
Probably. Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Looks like tire tracks. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
Right?
How have we never, how have I never heard about this before?
That's what I said when I was reading about this. It's like, no freaking way. Like, how is this?
This is one of the coolest, like, alien things I've ever heard of. Like, that they actually answered. Well, if it was aliens, that they freaking answered something. And, like,
right.
That's cool.
There was another one. Let's see, let's find it. I can't remember the name. The Mowing Devil. If you want to try Googling the Mowing Devil, like mowing your lawn, and then going to images. This is something that happened way back in the day. That's probably be a good idea to find out when. 1678. This is a woodcut pamphlet that was published in 1678. It tells of a farmer who once refused to pay the price demanded by a laborer to mow his field, and he swore he would rather the devil have mowed it instead. The next morning, the field was found to be perfectly mowed in a way that is, quote, that no mortal man was able to do the like. Basically I said it was the neatest mowing they'd ever seen in their life, like, because it's, it's a crop circle, but, they didn't understand what that was back in 1678. So, but the day before he said, swore he would rather the devil mowed it instead. And then it was seriously, 1 day later, and it's the best mow he had ever seen. Quote, dang. No mortal man. And this is a guy who does it for a living. So this came out, and that is one of the first crop circles, actually. So that's kind of a fun fact about crop circles there. Another one that we were going to look at was 1996 is when it happened. Sorry, I gotta get the right thing up. All right. It's called the Roswell Rock. And you know Roswell, Roswell. Wow, I can't talk quite well because it is one of the most famous alien cases. Anyway, the Roswell Rock, was found by a man in Roswell while he was walking around. I believe he was hunting, and gotta get my thing back up. Anyway, it's not super important. He found it on the ground and went, wow, this looks really cool. And again, you should probably look up an image of this if you Google Roswell Rock. It looks like a very dark stone, very smoothed out. And then it's got like, I don't even know what to describe it. It's got some circles and like moon shapes carved into it incredibly neatly. Anyway, he thought it was just like, hey, somebody dropped this rock and it's really cool. I'm going to hang on to it kind of thing. It was in the middle of nowhere. He didn't steal it, but he just found it. Anyway, got home, started showing it off. Eventually somebody was like, dude, I think I've seen that before. And if you Google Roswell Rock, it's the second one. A crop circle had shown up in Roswell in 2004. Or maybe it was later. I can't remember. That looks the exact same as the carving in this rock. And again, this is in Roswell. Both were found in Roswell. Now, if that isn't like aliens trying to communicate something to you, I don't know what is.
That's cool. Where did the guy find the rock again?
In Roswell.
In Roswell.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you say how far apart the finding of the rock and the crop circle were?
I do not know that. Let me see if I can find it really quick. But I mean, like, I don't know if that's a man-made carving in a rock. That is like the nicest carving in a rock I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. Man.
Okay, so his name was Robert, sorry. Robert Ridge, and he was a bow hunter, and he found it while half buried in Roswell, New Mexico, buried in the dirt. Let's see. The most fascinating discovery is that in 1996, 8 years before the Roswell Rock was found, this crop formation appeared in the designs match up. So this was 8 years before the rock was even found. Now, if it was the other way around, I could see like somebody finding a rock that looks really cool in Roswell and going, hey, what if it was aliens? And then somebody going, oh, I'm going to make a hoax of that and go put a crop circle like that. But this was found before. So I don't know. If this is a hoax, it's the most elaborate hoax I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I don't know who would do that. So,
well, who would do it? But also, you'd think somebody would see them doing the crop circle or be like on some kind of. If it's at Roswell, that's pretty close to. Isn't that really close to the base there?
Yeah, I think that's why they built the base there, is because it was right next to it.
Walker, I think it's Walker Air Force Base. So you'd think that at least they would like have a camera or ability to see something there.
Yeah.
Maybe they do, but like one thing that I notice about the rock, like it's not 100% in perfect shape. Like there are some imperfections to it, but one thing I don't see is I don't see any like machining marks. So like even on metal, when you machine something, there you can usually see marks from the tool. Whereas like here, everything looks pretty smooth. I don't see any lines that would indicate like that they used a cutting tool of any kind on there. Because also like to carve something that intricately, I actually pulled up a picture just barely of a guy that carves these rocks, like landscaping rocks, super intricately with like Dremels and small tools, and I can see the marks where he uses the tool, and like I can see where maybe his hand like barely slipped and he made a little gouge or something like that. And like everything on this rock, it looks like natural imperfection, but the carving itself looks like there aren't any of those marks or like tool, like signs of tools on it to me.
Yeah. That crap got laser beamed.
Yeah.
All
Dude,
right.
That's crazy.
All right. Here's another one. I want you to Google going round crop circle. And if you go to images, I don't know why the first one shows up. The second one, it looks like a bunch of circles in a spiral pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So this is known as the going round crop circle. If you see the second one, you'll notice that it's on the bottom half of the image. Like, why didn't they zoom in on it? Well, if you see up on the other side of that road, that's freaking Stonehenge.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. This was done. This crop circle is like, seriously, like less than 100 yards from Stonehenge, which, might I add, has 24/7 security.
Wait, can you see Stonehenge in the picture?
Let me send it to you to see if you have the same picture as me. This one here.
Okay. So I can see. Okay, so that little circle that's up in the top.
Yeah, the circle at the top, that's Stonehenge.
Okay. Wow, that's a big crop circle then, because I would have never guessed that was Stonehenge. I mean, I don't know how big Stonehenge actually is, but...
And going round, I believe I think it's this one.
I mean, Stonehenge's stones aren't like huge, like
but they're not small either.
They're not small, yeah. 2 to 3 times the height of a human, it looks like.
Okay,
Wow.
so Stonehenge, this one appeared in July of 1996, the going round, and it has been called, quote, one of the most complex and spectacular crop circle designs ever seen. And the design is a Julius set of type fractal, or Julius set type fractals. I don't know what that means. It's a visual representation of a mathematic formula. Anyway, so that's another thing is most of these crop circles can be converted to some sort of math. And because math is technically a universal language, that's how they figure they're trying to communicate with us. Like they've done the Fibonacci sequence, they've done the golden ratio, they've done this, they've done pi, actually. Oh, that one's kind of cool. Pi stone, or what's it called? Crop circle. Holy crap. So if you do pi, like pi, and then crop circle, yeah, the first image does it great. It doesn't look like anything but like a weird spiral pattern with jagged turns every once in a while. Do you see that one yet? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Well, people then figured out after a minute that each time it turns, it's changing to a new number. And each number, like the length of the arch, is how many numbers. So if you look at the very middle and then you go up and then down, that's 3 notches. And the next one is only 1, and then 4, and then 1. So it's 3.141. And then it goes all the way around for 10 digits of pi.
What?
And then at the end, it's 3 circles meant to notate ... like, and so on forever.
Oh my goodness.
So it's clear that whoever's putting these there is trying to communicate, right? Like, I don't know what, but like, I don't know. I feel like
wow.
I always thought it was just random stuff, but like almost all these can be attributed to some sort of like either like a solar system or a mathematic formula or a constellation or anything. It's crazy.
Dang, dude. Well, the thing is, like, there are some dang smart humans out there, but who would take the time to measure all that out? And, like, because usually these appear pretty instantaneously, right? Like, overnight.
Yeah, almost always overnight.
So to me, it doesn't seem likely that humans in the dark could like calculate that out with
Right.
such precision and get it done that quickly.
Also, and do that without being noticed.
Yeah, yeah.
So here,
Oh man.
I kind of need to address an elephant in the room. Maybe people know about this already, maybe not. But in 1991, a British newspaper ran a front page story with the headline, "The Men Who Conned the World." And this was in September of 1991. And two men in their 60s basically came forward and confessed that they were the ones putting all of these down because they were all relatively near each other in Europe. I mean, yeah, they were like in separate countries, but that's not really that far apparently over there. So two men in their 60s, Doug Bauer and I think he was the main guy. I don't know who the other guy is. Why didn't I write that down? Dave Chorley. There it is. I did. So Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley both admitted to it. He said Doug Bauer said he came up with the idea one night in a pub when he was in Queensland, and he thought it would be fun to tricking people into thinking UFOs were landing in wheat fields in southern England, and so he enlisted the help of his friend. Anyway, so case closed, right? He just made it up, but there were a lot of holes because at first they claimed they did all of them. And then as time went on, they claimed they only did some of them. And then later on, they even claimed that they, quote, helped people do them. And then wouldn't say who. So, and then that's a little weird. Secondly, these two guys are in their 60s. I don't really see them, going around crop fields and doing all this stuff in their 60s every night like that. I mean, my back hurts now. So if you ask me, they were forced to do this, forced to take the blame. I don't know, something like that. I don't believe it. Like there's too many holes in the story. Like, they actually like had film crews would talk to them and stuff like that. And they would go out to cornfields and show people how they did it. And how they did it was they get a wooden plank. They'd tie a rope to both ends of it and then basically just put it around their shoulders, hold the ropes, and then push down with their foot and step down on a bunch of the crops, flattening it down. And they showed it, and then they would show like, oh, hey, can you do this one for us? And they go, yeah, sure, we'll make this. And then they'd spend the next hour or two making a crop circle. But then when you looked at it from above, like it looked good, but it didn't look amazing. And also like there were a bunch that they did that had like a circle on either end of a line kind of thing. And the circles didn't even like line up. Like they weren't in the middle at all. Like they weren't centered. And it was like, in almost every single time they showed them, they were not centered or they were like off by a little bit kind of thing. Like nowhere near the neatness of the ones that had been seen before. I'm going to see if I can find one of the ones they did so I can give a... Can't seem to find any, but anyway. So it's like, I don't know, that's just more stuff in my mind that kind of proves that there's something more to this. I don't know. What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, my thoughts are like, I just don't understand why anyone would go to such lengths to do this kind of hoax, because these are massive. It would take not only an entire night of doing it perfectly and never getting caught, but so much planning to plan it out. Like it's such an elaborate hoax that and especially the pie one with such precision, and the answer, the Arecibo answer, like they're so precise, so perfect. I just don't see why or how any human could do that as quickly as they're done. I just don't. Like, unless you have 100 people doing it and getting, like, banging it out in a night. But
So you want to hear something funny?
yeah.
So whenever they would do their own, when they were showing how they did the crop circles, they had footpaths. You could see footpaths from where they were walking. And the ones that had been seen in the world before, the big popular ones that we've been talking about, didn't have any footpaths. So they would ask, well, how did you not get footpaths? And you know what they said? They pole vaulted in.
Huh.
They
How do you pole vault that far into a field? 'Cause
I don't
those are,
know.
like, in the field.
He said, quote, "You should have seen us sailing over the corn."
Also, what 60-year-old dude
Right,
is pole vaulting?
Dude. Like he's getting winded going in the circle. Like, he's 60 years old. I don't think he's pole
I don't
vaulting.
think he has the strength to hoist
With-
himself above the corn.
Right, while holding their planks and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
come
for
on.
real. Yeah.
Unless this hoax
That-
is a hoax in itself. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Here's what we should do. Let's find a crazy crop circle to make in a field.
Mhm.
And you and I will plan it out. One night we'll try to pole vault into the field and see if we can do it without getting caught.
Done. That sounds like fun. See how long it
Okay,
takes for
let's do
people
it.
to start talking about it.
Yep.
We do not.
I don't see it, man. I don't see it at all. Like,
We don't
only
condone
thing I
making
could
crop
s-
circles.
like, why would they not take the tire tracks? Why did they have to pole vault in? There are those tire tracks there.
Well, some of them didn't, Like,
Okay,
some of
yeah,
them don't
yeah.
have the tire tracks, so.
That's true. Yeah. There are some cool, like, I have seen some artistic ones that people have done, but it looks like they've done them, like, with a mower or something. Like, they're
So,
just so dang precise.
let's go into a little bit more evidence. You want to hear more?
Oh, yes.
So, this is kind of what cemented it for me. Like, there's got to be something to it. Like, before I was going, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, so if you use the board like they did to flatten it down, you can actually go look at the stalks and see where they were bent and creased, right? Like that, they're thick stalks, they're sturdy. So if you bend it, there's going to be a mark. And you can see that in a bunch of ones. So basically, there's a way to tell if it's a hoax or not. If you go into the field and see that they're bent like crazy, then it's probably a hoax. But if you don't see those bend lines at all, it's crazy. Like, how are they? Most of these, they never found any bend lines. It's like they said it's basically like the grain was just laid on its side gently. Like, how do you do that? You can't do that.
Right.
Another thing is that, what is it? Wheat. Yeah. So wheat, I don't know if you know what wheat looks like. I don't really know, but it's got like a little thing on the top of it. I don't even know, but it holds the seeds.
The wheat.
Yeah, the wheat
Yeah.
itself, yeah. And it's what holds the seeds. Now, early on, they stick straight up. And that's because there's not much weight to it. But if you see a picture of the wheat like bending over, like almost like turning back around to the ground, that's because there's seeds in it and it gets heavy. And it just bends over and then they drop, and that's how seed does the seed thing. Anyway, in crop circle areas, so in wheat fields, the untouched ones, they're bending over like that. But the ones that are bent or pushed down, the actual crop that's made to go down, those ones are straight and kind of stiff. Like, not stiff, but like if you turn it over on its side, it'll go back to being straight. And that doesn't make any sense. So people did some tests on it. Do you know what makes it do that? Was what they found in their tests? Radiation.
Really?
Yeah, if they give it radiation, it goes back up to being straight. And they've done tests on this. They've gotten seeds from the grains of all kinds, where the crop circle is laid down and the ones right next to it that aren't disturbed at all. And they almost always had a little more radiation. And also, when they would try to grow stuff with it, it would grow better and faster than the undisturbed stuff. So,
interesting.
like, and then there are reports of people when they stand in a crop circle, they feel an energy, and also it messes with them physically. Like, I saw a video of a woman standing in one, and within a few seconds, her hand started like turning blue. It was weird. What? It's like the blood was like rushing either away or to it. I don't even know. But I was just like, what the heck? And there was another study done. When it comes to studies and stuff, I don't want to get it wrong. So let me find it. Okay, here it is. Let's see. As part of an experiment, a woman with an enlarged thyroid sat in a crop formation for about 2.5 hours while being monitored by a certified doctor. Her thyroid shrunk by 40%.
What?
Yeah.
Was it like chemo or something? Like,
apparently, it was something
chemo
like
out in the field.
Basically, it's got radiation. Often cameras, watches, and other electronic devices stop working. It's actually, pregnant women are, quote, discouraged. Pregnant women and people with pacemakers are, quote, discouraged from going near one.
Huh. Wow.
Like,
that's crazy.
I don't know how you can explain away that. Like, I know you can explain away, like, actually doing it. It wouldn't be that hard, I feel like, but how do you explain the radiation?
Yeah, that's funky.
Also, another one. I gotta find the name of it. Crap, there's no name, just a year. Let's see, let's try finding it by year. 2003 crop circle. Dang, I can't find it. Anyway, I'll just explain it. It's a crop circle, but instead of the crops being laid flat on the ground, it's basically just the top 3 inches of the crop have been just slightly brushed over to the side. It was crazy, but like the whole stalk was still standing. And from the top, it looked like exactly like a crop circle. Like, it looked like it was laid completely flat, but then you get down there and it was seriously like they were just kind of turned on their other side, so it was reflecting differently. How do you do that? You can't do that. Plants are going to grow whatever way they want. If you turn it, it's just going to go right back, kind of thing. Like, you can't just turn the top 3 inches in a certain way and make it look like a crop circle.
Do you have a picture of that one?
Yes, but I don't know how to find it. So people won't be able to see it. Let's see.
Dang.
I will send it to you in just a moment. I have so many pictures of crop circles, sorry. Oh, while I'm looking at that, there's something else I want to talk about. It's called ghost formations.
Ghost formations.
I think. Maybe not. I will find it. Okay. Look up ghost circle crop circle. Ooh, that's weird. Google ghost crop circle. Yeah, ghost crop circle will work.
Ghost crop circle.
Okay, so these.
Is this the one that's like just in the kind of in the dirt?
So yeah, if you scroll down a little bit, like there's a good one from Space Freedom called Crop Circles Details. I don't know if you see that one, but they all look the same basically. It's after the whole land is plowed and they start regrowing their crop or whatever, and the crop circle's been gone for a year. And it's growing. It grows differently where it was. Like it looks darker or like fuller kind of thing where the crop circle was. And like I don't care if you're stepping on it with like 1,000 pounds. I don't think it's gonna cement it into the very earth how it grows.
Right.
Like that seems like another radiation type thing to me. I don't know what it is or the science behind it, but like two old guys doing plank thing in one night, that's not gonna cause it to grow differently the next year.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah, there's a few that I'm seeing here. The first picture I saw when you said that was it's like the fifth picture in where it says real and fake, and the one on the right is the Windows logo. It's like that's funny. That's crazy though. Yeah, you can see a few of them where one of them's like kind of yellowish, one of them's dark green. Dang. Huh.
So we'll have to post this picture because I can't find it. Okay.
You've made me a believer, my friend, because...
Dude, I was not a believer before, but like, I don't know how to not be now.
I mean, the most that I'd ever heard about it was I knew that some guys had come out and said they did it with boards, and so I was like, oh, okay, it's definitely not real, but I'd never really looked into it.
Okay, let me shoot you a few pictures. I gotta remember to post these just because you're not gonna be able to find these because I have no idea how to find them. It took me hours. Okay. Austin, right now, I am sending you a picture of what some crop circle groups did. So this is what it looked like when they were done, right?
Okay.
So it's some smashed down crops, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if I find my other picture, this is one that was like found overnight. Do you notice a difference?
Let's see. Well, it looks like in the first one, the stuff is laid all randomly, like
right. It
in
looks
all
messy.
And then in the second one, it's pretty consistent with the direction it's laid
Here's
in.
another one of that same one, the second one, different picture of it.
Oh,
look at the difference between those two. That one just looks,
Yeah.
it looks like it got stepped on, like the first one, because it is.
Yeah, yeah.
That second one, it like flows. It doesn't look disturbed. It looks like they're taking a nap.
Yeah,
The plants
it looks
are
like,
sleeping.
Like when I would walk across campus at USU and people would walk through the fields and like make lines in the grass where everybody would walk.
Right.
That's kind of what the first one looks like. Like it's very random. There's like gaps in it too. And then yeah, the second one you said it well, it flows. Like it almost looks like water flowing.
Right.
Like,
Here's another
that's
one that
cool.
was believed to be true that was found. The
Oh, it's
whole
like
thing
hatched.
is woven. Yeah.
what the heck? That would take way more than a night to do that.
Oh, yeah.
To
That's
cross hatch an entire
exactly.
freaking crop circle. Wow. That's some dedication if you did hoax that. Holy cow.
Okay, and then here's the one I was referring to earlier where it's not like actually stepped down. I can find it. Also, okay, hold on. I actually have another one to show you. Before that. Okay. So, one of these groups, I think there's a couple groups that did crop circles kind of thing. I'm not sure if it's the old men or a different group of people. They were challenged with redoing one that they claimed to do, and show people how it was done, right? So the one on the left is the one they found, and the one on the right is them recreating it. And I don't know about you, but like it's really close. But again, it does not look neat. Like the first one looks
yeah.
really kind of neat and tidy, but the second one looks just like, I don't know, man-made.
A little more.
Just a little bit.
You can see more like lines and stuff, whereas in the first one it's more pretty uniform. Interesting.
And then
That crosshatch one is crazy.
yeah.
That is insane. It's insane to me that even an alien would take the time to crosshatch that.
Okay, now here's this one. That looks like a regular old crop circle, right? Like it looks mowed almost.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like from the ground.
Whoa.
Are you kidding me? Like, how on earth could you possibly do that?
That's perfect.
Like, you can't even tell that it was disturbed. Here's another picture showing a part of it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Like, so was it that cut down then, or was that just...
No, it's just brushed down a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you mentioned that earlier. So it's all just brushed down in the same way.
Look,
Wow.
like if you're standing there from that point of that picture, you can't even tell you're standing in a crop circle. It looks completely normal.
Yeah.
And then from the top down, it looks like there's not even crops there. It looks like dirt.
Wow. Yeah, I would have guessed that was just... Yeah, there's nothing, no plant there. Wow, that's crazy.
How do you do that with a board? You
For real.
You don't.
Yeah.
So
Dang.
that's basically all I had planned. I just found a bunch of those things, and the evidence behind crop circles is just insane to me.
Well, yeah, I'm a 100% believer now. That is... Dude, that's insane. The first couple ones, I'm like still going back and looking at the answer thing and
Yeah, the Arecibo
pie
answer.
one. The pie one is crazy too. Oh my gosh. I got so much to keep researching now. Like this, There's so much more to this than
we
I
should
thought there
probably
was
do
initially.
this again in the future and talk about more of them, but
Wow. Dang. Well, that was cool. This has been one of my favorite episodes, I think, because I just never knew that there was actually some substantial evidence to it.
I want to show you another cool one. It's called the Hill Galaxy Spiral. So Google the Hill Galaxy Spiral. Crop circle. Add crop circle. It's
Oh, wow.
it's one of the craziest ones that people have ever found, they say. It's a ton of circles.
Dang.
Let's see.
Everything in these crop, like, it's all circles. Like, though I guess that's where the name crop circles come from.
Right.
But it's all based on circles. That's what's weird to me. Like, almost all of them are just circles.
The spiral consists of 409 perfect circles, 1,000 feet across, spread over 700,000 square feet.
Oh my gosh.
And that also, from the top down, you can't tell, it's not flat land. It's kind of hilly. You know how hard that would be to do on a hill?
That's crazy. Dude, that's a cool one. And then, yeah, you can see the tiny, like the big ones, and then they go out 3 circles on either side.
Yeah. Another math formula thing. Also, I forgot to go over this, but I think we're running low on time, but I gotta glance over this really quick. The BBC, British Broadcasting Network, or channel? Yeah, channel could be channel. I don't know. They hired somebody who claimed to be who was a crop circle investigator, and they kind of sectioned off some cropland, and they let them like set up a bunch of cameras and stuff, and the whole goal was to catch a crop circle being made on camera. And they kind of funded the whole thing and were, whatever on board. They even had security so that hoaxers couldn't get in and do it while they were filming for it. Anyway, a crop circle showed up. And so they announced it, like, that's crazy, like, it actually happened. And then they actually went back and viewed the footage later. And it was hoaxers that did it. It was people that came in and, stepped it down.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, that kind of sucks. But then you take a step back and think about it. They had security. Why didn't security, stop these people from doing the circles? And then also, near the same time, people claim that they were investigating other crop circles elsewhere in secret. So the whole thing is claimed to be that they basically set up this guy to take all the attention and kind of make him look like an idiot. And while they were actually doing real research on actual crop circles and aliens and stuff like that, basically just to get him out of the way. That's a big rumor about it, or a big theory, I guess, that they were basically set up for failure so that they could do it without the watchful eye of the human population. It was crazy. Just like, what, you had security specifically for this and you failed at that. Like, yeah. So that's another thing. I thought that was crazy. It's just like, I don't know, man. Why else? Anyway, there's a lot more to that story, but I was trying to spark notes it there. But yeah, that's all I've got planned for you now. There's so much more on crop circles. There's so many crop circles that have shown up on the planet. Most of them hoaxes, but a lot that cannot be disproven, basically. And I only talked about 7 of them. But
well, we're gonna test the theory of pole vaulting into the field, so stay tuned for that episode.
I don't even know how to pole vault.
Where do you even get a pole vaulting pole?
Amazon. That'd be a long box.
How much do they cost, dude? They're like $1,000.
No way.
Let's see. Well, that one's $1,000. That one's $145. Oh, that's just a crossbar. Okay. Just the bag is $120. Let's see.
Oh, it costs $200 for shipping.
Yeah, they're probably super heavy, and they're like 15 feet long, aren't they?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Who do you think was the first person that was like, see that tree over there? I'm gonna grab a stick and try and jump over it. Like, yeah, I'm not spending that much on a pole thing. That's crazy that they're that much. I had a cousin that my cousin Trev bought that's we've done a few shout outs for. He pole vaulted in high school.
That's weird. They range from 10 to 17 feet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And they weigh 20 to 40 pounds. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's heavy.
You got to run with that. And then they have to, like, when you watch them do it, they have to plant it in that perfect little hole.
Yeah.
On the mat. And like, dude, how do you get a 17-foot long stick into that hole? Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Anyway.
And so two 60-year-olds doing that, 60 plus, I'm calling bull with their boards. Anyway.
Tell us what you think about crop circles. You guys see any cool ones? You know anything about them that I don't? Are you a believer? Maybe they're not aliens. Maybe they are real, but they're not aliens doing it. Maybe it's governments trying to talk in code or something like that. Who knows? Like number stations.
We should put a poll on this episode that says, like, were you a believer before this episode? Are you a believer now? Because for me, it would have been no and then yes, for sure. Like,
fair enough.
That's crazy. That was fun. Thank you for
dude.
presenting
I was watching a YouTube video on, I went down a YouTube rabbit hole and saw one about crop circles. Like, that's crazy. And then I watched another one. I'm like, that's crazy. And then I watched another one. I'm like, no way. So then I was like, I texted you like immediately and went, I'm doing crop circles.
Yeah, that was really fun. That was great. So, yeah, let us know what you think. We may place a question in there, see if you guys believe. Yeah, thanks for listening.
And thank you very much for listening. We love you. Love your support. And I guess we'll talk to you in the next one.
Bye-bye.